Hello, Waswere here, back with another video, and today I'm going to be covering my initial thoughts on the Orthen release. The visuals aren't going to be too great on this video, but I'll bring in screenshots as needed, but it's mostly just going to be background B-roll of me doing archaeology. This is based on the stream that happened earlier this afternoon, and I haven't obviously had time to test these out in-game because they don't exist yet in-game. First off, we have the increase in the monolith power. They didn't give the amount, but they mentioned that people won't be disappointed with the relic power amount. Still very vague, but to me that means it's going to be at least 600, as that will fit in Berserker's Fury, Luck of the Dwarves, and Fury of the Small, which seems to be what most people are clamoring for, but it could be anywhere up to 750. At 750, you get the ability to use one of the adrenaline-saving relics, Fury of the Small and Berserker's Fury. Regardless, I think that the increase in relic power is a good change, as it moves the restriction from the relic power to the relic slots, giving players the ability to make the choice without feeling as restricted as they do now. On top of that, there are 3 brand new relics that are coming with Orthen, and I think they all have use, even though they might not be meta for 100% of players. First up, we have Evil Bob's Paw on the left. It gives you the ability to automatically cook fish as you catch them, giving half the cooking XP that you otherwise would have gotten. While this sounds great on the first glance, I don't think it's actually that great for mainscapers. The main fishing methods either require you dropping fish or they don't have a cooked alternate. For example, if I were to be fly fishing and catching salmon and trout, I wouldn't want the fish to be cooked because then it would take longer and be more annoying to drop them instead of holding down a keybind or 2, as the action bar is now eat instead of drop with the fish being cooked. Then when you get to the high level, the main trading methods are waterfall fishing and fish frenzy, both of which don't provide a cooked fish alternative. Then the final option is wobgongs, which you don't want to cook right away because you want to make sure you use a portable range so that you get the 5% extra fish for more chimes. On top of that, if you're trying to make money swarm fishing, the AFK-ness will be low, as it's unlikely that the cooked sailfish and others will be teleported with the Grace of the Elves porter. And the cooked variants are usually cheaper than the raw ones, meaning you're making less GP per hour. The only use I see is low to mid-level Ironmen catching fish at Menaphos for the main food supply, but how many of those are going to have 90 plus archaeology? I think this relic can be improved by interaction with the Fury Shark, where if you have the Fury Shark outfit, you can also consume the cooked fish so that it doesn't populate your inventory with cooked fish. The next relic, Soma, on the right, is something that I think is a lot better for mainscapers, but still not very good for Ironmen. The artifact gives you extra precision at the cost of soil, meaning that you get artifacts quicker, and while gaining that artifact you get less materials, which for someone who's buying materials to help cover the loss, it's very good, as the more artifacts you get, the more XP you get. However, for Ironman, all this is going to do is force them to go to caches more often. They're better off not turning this relic on and instead using the soil for excess materials, either with the Sift Soil spell or the Auto Screener. The final relic shown is the only combat-based relic, and while it won't change the meta for PvM, it will help those out on Slayer. What it does is that it takes all ash and bone drops, and instead of them dropping as items, they drop as notes instead. This makes it viable to actually pick up lower level bones and ashes like Infernal Ashes and Dragon Bones. With the Bone Crusher's auto loot ability, you can also have them cleaned into your inventory in noted form right away, so that adds even more potential profit. On top of that, it fits nicely into the niche of Slayer, as you really don't need Fury of the Small on Slayer, as you don't fully take advantage of your adrenaline, and it could be reasonable that you go with a setup of Slayer Introspection, Berserker's Fury, and this new relic, and that should fit well under the relic power cap. This is especially good for Ironmen who have difficulty getting enchanted notepaper and normally just bone crush the dragon bones instead of saving them for a gilded altar or the ectophantom. I know I'll be using this to great detail on my ultimate Ironman. For mainscapers, you get a little extra profit from your Slayer tasks, which can be worth swapping your relics around if you're going to be slaying for long enough. The potions were the next part of the rewards, and as mentioned previously, there were 5 in total. Let's go from lowest level to highest level. This is a lot more powerful than it appears, as it allows you to get to the next set of artifacts or mysteries at an earlier level. On top of that, you can hold 6 doses per inventory slot, so it's 6 times as dense as the Soil Tea was. It might become more viable to boost for long periods of time with this potion. The Summoning Renewal Potion at level 88 not only renews your summoning points, but also your familiar special move points. I expect this potion to be part of the PvMers preset from now on when they have that Ripper Demon out, as it's essentially just free DPS. The Holy Aggro Overload at level 98 is a great tool for AFK Slayer, as you can get some prayer regeneration while also maintaining your aggression. That is enough to put on a Protection Prayer or Soul Split and maintain the prayer. Pop one of those in a Potion Reservoir and you're golden to AFK for 48 minutes. The Power Burst of Opportunity at level 103 is a power burst that doubles your mining damage or archaeology position for your next hit. Assuming these end up as cheap as the other power bursts, there is no reason not to use them. Extra damage or precision means more XP per hour. The Spirit Attraction Potion at level 116 is a potion that automatically collects any sort of spirit or blessing spawn. The potion lasts for 6 minutes. This is another great tool for AFKing, but its value will be based on its cost, as people won't want to pay for more than a couple thousand GP per dose, as then you'll just end up losing money on your Saren Spirits. Overall, I think Jagex did a great job in scrapping Ancient Herblore and instead releasing 5 very viable and meta-changing potions for all types of players. Everyone gets something from these potions. All the potions except for the Overload are tradable. Lastly, we have the skilling offhands. There are 2 and they each touch 2 skills. This is meant to be a mastery item for the skills, so they require 99 in each of them to craft. The Orthen Furnace Core impacts fire making and smithing, and there are a host of buffs associated with them. Superheat form no longer drains prayer, so you can keep that prayer up at all times. When smithing or fire making, Forge Phoenixes spawn, which give a better drop table than the current fire spirits. They mentioned items such as Onyx Dust, and that will work well with the Spirit Attraction Potion, as that will auto-claim your Forge Phoenix. When the Breakdown or Pyromatic perk activates, you get a 5% fire making and smithing XP buff for 5 minutes. You should be able to get one of these procs every 5 minutes, so you're probably going to have that 5% XP buff at almost all times. The Scroll of Efficiency is increased to 2.5% chance to save per bar used, rather than the base 2% it was before. These are all great buffs, and if you plan on 120 fire making or smithing, go for it. The only issue is that they aren't augmentable, so you lose access to the Wise perk from your regular offhand, but you can spend that XP on another skill. The Artificer's Measure touches the crafting and construction skills. The buffs are Scroll of Dexterity and Proficiency. They have a 25% chance extra to occur, so the current save chance of Black Dragon Leather right now is 10%, and that goes to 12.5%. While mahogany planks are also 10%, so they also go to 12.5%. But if you use a higher or lower tier plank or hide, you'll end up with a different number. When the Scroll of Dexterity or Proficiency procs, you get 0.5% extra XP for 5 minutes. This stacks up to 10 times for a 5% XP buff. Based on how often they proc, you should be able to maintain 5% all the time when training, crafting, or construction. It also acts as a wieldable upgraded gem bag, which can store 200 of each gem. While training at the Ithil Harps, it acts as if the Voice of Saren is on Ithil all the time, so you get the extra XP, and also the harps go out of tune considerably slower. And then the final buff is that while making urns or doing any sort of glass blowing, you have a 5% chance to double any manufactured items. As a whole, these are great rewards which are finely tuned to the 99 to 120 grind, which is the intent of the skilling offhands. So good job, Jagex. Overall, I'm very pleased with the rewards. The meta shift is small but noticeable, and they're much more niche than the overall archaeology skill, and I can't wait to test them out all in game. If you like the content I'm producing, consider subscribing. If you like the video, drop a like. If you have any questions or anything I got wrong, leave a comment down below. But past that, I'll catch you in the next one, and have a good day.